Yeah, Chief Chris Whiteley of the Winchester Fire Department tells us that they responded to calls around 9:30 a.m. of a collapsed roof. There was only one woman reported to be inside the building at the time of the incident, and she was actually in the basement. There are no life-threatening injuries. She was only taken to the hospital out of precaution just because of an accelerated heart rate, but she is expected to be okay. Chief Whiteley says that the parapet roof, which is that protective wall barrier on the outside, collapsed onto the roof. He says that water could have been a contributor to the collapsing, and that there are currently 2 feet of standing water in the basement of the building that they used a vent saw to drain some of that water out. And right now there are currently no signs of any future collapsing. We'll get you more information as we come along. Reporting in Winchester, Hallie DeVore, WKYT.